Welcome back to MzansiVerse TV, the channel where South African politics gets explained the only way it possibly can be explained, with a countdown and several concerned facial expressions. Today, we're counting down the top 10 things that could happen if the government of national unity collapses. The GNU brought together parties that normally agree on approximately 3 things. South Africa exists, load shedding is annoying, and everyone else is doing politics incorrectly. But what happens if this political group project finally reaches the stage where somebody deletes themselves from the WhatsApp group? For this list, we're looking at plausible political and economic consequences mixed with a healthy amount of satire. This is a hypothetical countdown, not a prediction that the GNU actually will collapse. Let's get into it. Number 10. The political blame game. If the GNU collapses, South African politicians will immediately begin our most efficient government program, blaming each other.
We are going to start the processes of withdrawing from the GNU also.
Make yourself coffee, then somebody walks in and says, "Morning, Minister." "Morning. You're not Minister anymore." "Oh, also, we're going to need the laptop." Suddenly, cabinet could start looking like a football team during transfer season. Who's staying? Who's leaving? Who's getting promoted? Who's being benched? And who's posting a suspiciously emotional statement saying, "I remain committed to serving the people of South Africa," which is political language for "they fired me." Number 8. The rand could get nervous. Financial markets hate uncertainty, and South African politics can produce uncertainty like Eskom used to produce load-shedding schedules. If the GNU collapsed unexpectedly, investors could become nervous about what government comes next, what happens to economy.
The Deputy President is Paul Mashatile.
Every major vote could turn into an episode of political Survivor. The ANC would need support, the DA would need support, smaller parties could suddenly become extremely important. MPs who normally receive 12 seconds of television coverage could suddenly have journalists camping outside their offices. A party with a handful of seats could walk into negotiations like Cristiano Ronaldo entering a contract meeting. What are you offering? We can give you committee influence. Continue, and we'll listen to your policy proposal. I'm listening, and we'll throw in parking. Deal. Every budget, every major bill, every parliamentary vote. Drama. South Africa wouldn't need Showmax anymore, just live stream parliament. Your leader gets invited onto television, your calls get returned, even your Facebook posts start getting likes. Political relevance.
A liberal party that puts its faith in free market solutions in a non-racial.
Interesting. If major GNU partners walked away, the ANC could try to construct a different governing arrangement with parties outside the existing GNU, and immediately South Africans would begin doing coalition mathematics. ANC plus this party, minus that party, carry the one, divide by Julius Malema, somebody gets 50%, maybe. Coalition negotiations could potentially involve parties such as the EFL or MK party, depending on the political circumstances and what each side was willing to negotiate. And those negotiations would probably be slightly more complicated than, "So, are you free Tuesday?" Policy disagreements involving land, the economy, the constitution, and the structure of government could become central. Basically, imagine negotiating a Netflix password, except the password controls a country. Number 4. John Steenhuisen could be...
Honorable member, you withdraw that any member here, what breathalyzer here?
Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma could become much more important. If the GNU's existing parliamentary cooperation broke down, opposition parties could suddenly gain much greater leverage. That includes the EFL and MK party. Imagine Julius Malema waking up, checking the news and seeing GNU collapses. Coffee? Not required. He has been waiting for this moment. Meanwhile, MK party headquarters would probably be busier than OR Tambo in December, because when parliamentary numbers become tight, parties with substantial blocks of MPs become much harder to ignore. The ANC might need votes, the DA might need votes, everybody might need votes, and suddenly the people sitting outside the government are holding some extremely valuable cards. South African politics would become less. You still have those parliamentary seats. Yes, You still need parliamentary seats? Yes. Another awkward silence.
Unity government and forcing the ANC to scramble for votes from smaller parties.
Because South African politics doesn't end, it gets renewed for another season. And those were our picks for the top 10 things that could happen if the GNU collapses. For now, the GNU remains South Africa's governing arrangement, and its parties have established formal mechanisms for dealing with disagreements. So this list isn't saying collapse is inevitable, but in South African politics, never throw away the popcorn. What do you think would happen first if the GNU fell apart? Would the ANC find new partners? Would the DA return to full opposition mode? Or would everybody fight for 6 months before creating another coalition with an even longer name? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe to MzansiVerse TV for more South African countdowns. This is where things could get especially interesting. If major GNU partners walked away, the ANC could try to construct a different governing arrangement with parties outside the existing GNU.
On the leaders of the parties.
And is the GNU still going to expand then to include?
And immediately South Africans would begin doing coalition mathematics. ANC plus this party minus that party, carry the one, divide by Julius Malema, somebody gets 50%, maybe. Coalition negotiations could potentially involve parties such as the EFL or MK party, depending on the political circumstances and what each side was willing to negotiate. And those negotiations would probably be slightly more complicated than, so, are you free Tuesday? Policy disagreements involving land, the economy, the constitution, and the structure of government could become central. Basically, imagine negotiating a Netflix password, except the password controls a country. Number 4. John Steenhuisen could become Opposition John again. If the DA left the GNU, one of the biggest changes would be the party returning fully to the opposition benches.
With a partner that often still acts like an opposition party, but from the inside,
And somewhere inside Parliament, a familiar soundtrack begins. John Steenhuisen slowly opens a cupboard. Inside sits an old folder. He blows the dust off. On the front, ANC attack lines. Do not delete. My old friend. After serving inside a government alongside the ANC, the DA would suddenly have to switch back into full opposition mode. Yesterday, we are working together to improve South Africa. Tomorrow, this government is an absolute catastrophe. South African voters, didn't you work there yesterday? Different department. The political divorce would be spectacular. And like every divorce, both sides would immediately explain why they were actually the reasonable one. Number 3. Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma could become much more important. If the GNU's existing parliamentary cooperation broke down, opposition parties could suddenly gain much greater leverage. That includes the EFL and MK party.
Honorable members. On the point of order. Yes, honorable member.
Imagine Julius Malema waking up, checking the news and seeing GNU collapses. Coffee? Not required. He has been waiting for this moment. Meanwhile, MK party headquarters would probably be busier than OR Tambo in December, because when parliamentary numbers become tight, parties with substantial blocks of MPs become much harder to ignore.
My blood is black, green and gold. I will never form a political party.
The ANC might need votes, the DA might need votes, everybody might need votes, and suddenly the people sitting outside the government are holding some extremely valuable cards. South African politics would become less like chess, more like Uno. Draw 4. That's unconstitutional. Draw 4. Number 1. Another GNU could eventually appear. Yes, after all the fighting, all the press conferences, all the dramatic resignations, all the tweets, all the emergency meetings, South African politicians could eventually discover the same problem that created the GNU in the first place.
I have reconfirmed that the GNU is here to stay.
Although the numbers. Unless one political bloc can assemble enough parliamentary support, parties still need cooperation to govern effectively and pass important measures. So after spending 3 months calling each other incompetent, they could eventually walk back into another negotiation room. ANC, hello. DA, hello. Awkward silence. So, you still have those parliamentary seats? Yes. You still need parliamentary seats? Yes. Another awkward silence. GNU? GNU. And somewhere in South Africa, one exhausted voter closes Twitter and whispers, "I knew it," because South African politics doesn't end, it gets renewed for another season. And those were our picks for the top 10 things that could happen if the GNU collapses. For now, the GNU remains South Africa's governing arrangement, and its parties have established formal mechanisms for dealing with disagreements. So this list isn't saying collapse is inevitable, but in South African politics, never throw away the popcorn. What do you think would happen first if the GNU fell apart? Would the ANC find new partners? Would the DA return to full opposition mode? Or would everybody fight for 6 months before creating another coalition with an even longer name? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe to MzansiVerse TV for more South African countdowns, politics, pop culture, and the occasional reminder that Parliament is sometimes funnier than anything we could write.